How is it going, everybody? Hope you're having the most wonderful day. Today's video is an update on the Cybertruck video that I did. A few comments, a few updates. Let's roll it. Let's get into it. Now, for those that have no idea what I'm talking about, the Cybertruck was released by Tesla about a month ago, and they did a lot of live stage reveals, if you will. One of them was the sledgehammer to the exoskeleton of the truck. And it was very tough and everything. It took the hit from the sledgehammer. Although the hammer did not hit exactly the same on both trucks. That could be an argument for some people.
Nice.
I'm not gonna split those hairs. Then they went on to the glass, the armor glass, and oh my God, what a fiasco! They didn't exactly think that one through, and here's what happened.
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah. Oh my fucking God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Should we try the beer?
Sorry?
Okay.
It didn't go through. So that's a plus side.
Let's try the
Sorry?
beer.
Try that one? Really? Okay. Sure.
Now, with that said, Elon Musk, a day or two after that, released video showing where they actually did the test behind stage, if you will, before the reveal. Where they showed the guy Franz, however you want to say it, actually throw the same ball and hit the glass on the door, and it did not break. But here's where the controversy begins. Now the controversy begins because if you look in this video, as the ball hits the glass, the door vibrates, and you could tell the door's not shut because the door actually opens just a little bit, and in so doing the glass drops. And Elon is saying that that is part of the reason that the glass broke on stage. Now, as you can imagine, when it happened, it was all over the internet. I mean, just video after video after video. And I couldn't understand why. It was really a big fiasco. And ever since Elon made the tweet about the glass dropping from the sledgehammer blow and then hitting it with the steel ball, that's what's causing the controversy. Everybody's now jumping on the bandwagon saying, yeah, that's the whole reason it did it, is because they hit it with the sledgehammer. That caused stress, or that caused the glass to drop.
Elon afterwards posted a video showing how in the backstage they tried this experiment a few times and it all went fine. The reason for the fail during demo is that windows were slightly down.
In any case, so why did this happen? A lot of people don't understand. What he noticed is that the windows were slightly down.
Okay, well, if you look in the video that Elon posted, the backstage thing, you can clearly see the glass drop. I mean, it just dropped. It looked like it dropped about a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. And that's all fine and dandy. The on stage presentation, they hit it with the hammer first, and they're saying that that caused it to drop. But if you look at the glass, The glass does not shake. The glass does not drop. If it does, it is so minuscule that you can't even tell it. And if you watch the onstage presentation, the magic show as I call it, where they sit there and they drop the ball higher and higher and higher and let it hit the glass, each time they'll go over and adjust the hold down levers, make sure they're tight, make sure it didn't give or anything. Okay, I understand that. I get it. It is possible that it could have happened, but if you look real closely at the video, it doesn't drop. So, you know, we're kind of splitting hairs here, whether it did or didn't. So now everybody knows the magic recipe for breaking into your Tesla Cybertruck. Hit it with a hammer and then hit it with a steel ball or another hammer. You know, hit the door with the hammer, hit the glass with the hammer, and you're in. Wow. Why didn't Tesla think of this, right? Why didn't Tesla think of all these scenarios? The glass being down, the glass being hit by the hammer first on the door, you know. Did they really not put any foresight or forethought into testing such a scenario? I mean, come on, guys and gals. You think they just pulled the truck up on the stage and never tested the glass? That's why they knew to put it in that frame, a certain size, which was not the same size as what was in the door. Put a certain size square piece of glass in a frame with hold downs. Think about that for just a second. And I have a problem with the Tesla truck to begin with the armor glass. And here's the thing. Now, before we get into the technical side of it, or semi-technical, everybody talks about the angles of the truck. You know, why couldn't they round it? Why couldn't they do this? Well, another Elon Musk post states, and I'm not going to quote it, I'm just going to paraphrase it, that the metal is so hard and so tough that when they try to form it and bend it, that it's breaking the presses. And to get what little bit of curvature or bend in it that they did, they actually have to really score the back side of that panel and create a gouge, if you will, to be able to get it to bend, to be able to get it to roll that far. So evidently it's some pretty tough metal. And you know, I'm not knocking Tesla. I don't really like their business practice, but I'm not knocking them because, you know, they're trying to look ahead. They're trying to create cars for a niche that is coming widespread before long. You know, they've been in it for a few years now, and Chevy and Ford and all them's just getting into the game, so they are leaps and bounds ahead of them. And I'm going to do a whole video why I won't be buying an electric truck, but that's a whole different video, or electric car. That's a whole different video. But do you really want a truck that is so tough that if you get caught in a flash flood or the wildfires out in California, or snows up in our northern states where you're without power for a week, 2 weeks at a time, how are you going to charge your cars? You know, a lot of people ain't giving this consideration. Unless you have an outlet with a generator devoted to that car, how are you going to charge it? That's a whole different story. So you're trapped in a flash flood, you lose your power, you're in a wreck, you lose your power, whatever. How are you going to get out of this car? You can't break the glass, supposedly. The door locks and everything is electric. How are you going to get the doors open? You know, it's one problem after another if you really stop and think about this, if you think it through. But like I said, it's a whole different video. But what this video is primarily about is what happened next. What happened next? Elon, with the busted windshield and everything, they sit here and talk about the towing capacity, the pulling capacity of the tri-motors, the single motors, yada 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 yada, and then they show this video.
But what about a real world test? Like let's actually have a tug of war here with an F-150. So you can see, you know, see which one can pull which. Let's do the tug of war video. I mean, yeah, but it was uphill.
Now, anybody that has the slightest bit of common sense, take the fanboyism out of it, take the loyalty to Tesla out of it, just the slightest bit of common sense, knows and can look at this video and tell that it is rigged. And I'm not saying they're the only ones that do it. Every car manufacturer out there rigs their videos. GM, Chevrolet with their metal beds compared to the Ford's aluminum beds, right? Then you have Ford towing the locomotives down the track, showing that they could tow over 1 million pounds. Come on, really? It's all rigged, it's all gimmicky, and it's not truthful, none of it. But this one, I had to make a video about it, and I'll post it up there because it really bothered me. Now, if you look at photos and videos of this online, it's kind of at an upward angle, looking down. You can see that the two trucks are not the same size, okay? The Tesla truck is a good bit longer than the Ford F150. Now, don't jump to conclusions yet. Let's add all this up. Tesla cars, battery cars in general, are always heavier than a gasoline engine car. It just is. Add in the fact that the F-150 looked to be the cheapest version that they had. It's the shortest version they had, and it was only two-wheel drive. Now, Tesla has not released yet what configuration the Tesla truck was, the Cybertruck, but we can assume that it's at least two motors for the back wheels. Okay, we'll just assume, for sake of argument, that it's rear-wheel drive, just like the F-150. So now we have weight to consider. Like I said, you got the weight, you've got the overall size, you've got the overall length, you have the fact that as the Tesla truck is pulling the slack out of the tow strap, it sits there, it pulls up, it pulls the slack out, and then it guns it. It's already got torque, it's already got power, it's already got pulling against that Ford F-150 before the F-150 ever releases off its brakes and starts to hit the gas. Plus, it is towing uphill. Anybody knows, if you have all those things, if you have the weight, if you have the length, the torque of the electric motors, all that stuff in consideration, and then put it uphill, that truck that is uphill, or that person that is uphill, is going to outpull whatever's below it. It is common physics, it is common math, and Engineering Explained did a complete video on the math, so if you don't believe me, go watch his video. I'll put the link to his video in the description below, if I don't forget, to explain exactly how the math, how the physics work. It's like you got this little mama's boy, little short, skinny, kind of frail looking kid pulling against the neighborhood bully that sits there. He's overweight, likes his ice cream and everything, got his head turned sideways and everything, right? It's like the little boy trying to pull against him. It just isn't going to work. You're not going to do it. So I just want to put this video out there because I've gotten a lot of comments. I've got a lot of hateful comments, if you will, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, to where everybody says that it doesn't matter that the truck was heavier or not, that the F-150 couldn't handle it anyway. My point is Tesla did not compare apples to apples. They compared oranges to apples, or grapefruits to apples, if you will. And you got the big grapefruit to the medium-sized apple. So if Tesla wants to make a true comparison, make the weight of the truck the same, the horsepower the same of the truck, make all those variables the same, and either do the test again or use like a weight sled to see which one will actually pull the most weight the farthest, so on and so forth. And you know, like tractor pulls, as the further it goes, the weight moves up the ramp, and then it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. Again, it gets heavier as it goes up because it's getting closer to the center of the gravity of the rear wheels of the axles, which is another advantage the Tesla truck had. Most of its weight is over the oversized tires with those electric motors. But I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted everybody to understand what was going on, why I did the video, and explain that it was a misleading video. All the videos that these manufacturers put out, but this one in particular was a little bit over misleading, trying to sell you on the idea that this truck is so strong that it can pull a pickup truck. Granted, it can, but it's not a comparable pickup truck like they was saying they were comparing to in the original reveal that Tesla put out. They were saying that it was a comparable truck, same weight, same dimensions, all that. You can look at the pictures, you can look at the video and see that it's not the same. But I just wanted to put this out here as an update video, if you will, explaining those two things. And like I said, with the Tesla glass, the armor glass, you know they've tested all these variables before. They're not just going to go up on stage and throw something at it. That's why they had the behind the scenes footage to begin with. Now everybody sit there and say, oh, it's because he hit it backstage and the glass dropped and it weakened it, yada yada. Okay, I'll give you that one. What about the back glass? They didn't hit it with a sledgehammer. They didn't throw another ball bearing at it. What happened with it?
Sure? Yeah. Oh my fucking god. Well, maybe that was a little too hard. Should we try the beer?
Sorry?
Okay.
It didn't go through. So that's a plus side.
Let's try the
Right?
beer.
Try that one, really? Okay. Sure.
Oh, man.
It didn't go through.
Food for thought. Until next time, guys, you guys get out there and enjoy those rides. I'm not knocking the Tesla cars or anything. You know, there's a lot of work, a lot of pride, and a lot of man and woman hours that goes into designing these cars. Tesla should be proud. It is a nice vehicle. Is it for me? Absolutely not. But it is a nice vehicle. Tesla should be proud. But come on, if you're going to do this, at least be up and up with it. That's all I'm saying. Get out there and enjoy those cars, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Now, just a PS, if you will. Tesla, like I said, is trying to put it off as the door, and everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon saying that it was the sledgehammer that hit the door. So this ought to be repeatable, right? They ought to be able to go back. They ought to be able to hit the door, let the glass drop as they said it dropped, even though in the video you do not see that glass drop. And it ought to be a repeatable test, or a malfunction, if you will. Right? Come on, Tesla, let's see that footage.